Protester there sentenced to death and given only 10 minutes to talk with family, say his goodbyes. It's a gut-wrenching story. It's 26-year-old Erfan Soltani. He's scheduled to be executed today for the sole crime, put it in quotes, of protesting. The regime gave him 10 minutes to talk with his family. Boy, this is just enormously cruel. It's beyond cruel. Let's figure out another word for it. Young Iranian protester was allegedly set to be executed Wednesday for taking part in the anti-government demonstrations against the Islamic Republic. Was given only 10 minutes to say goodbye to his family, according to a haunting new report. New York Post giving us some of these harrowing details. Erfan Soltani, age 26, given just a brief moment to see his family after being arrested during a protest January 8th, with security officials telling the relatives that it would be their final farewell before he faces the hangman. IranWire reporting this. Soltani, was believed to be the first of the detained protesters scheduled for death, was also denied access to a lawyer or trial, that according to Iran Human Rights, an NGO. Even a close relative who was a lawyer tried to take on the case but was blocked and threatened by security agents, a source close to the family told IranWire. They told him there is no file to review. We announced that anyone arrested in the protest would be executed, the source added. Soltani's family has also allegedly been threatened with arrest if they try to speak publicly about the case or contact the media, according to the local outlet. Protesters being charged with waging war against God, crime punishable by death in Iran. U.S. Sun reporting that. Full details of Soltani's purported execution orders have yet to be independently verified amid the nationwide communications blackout in Iran. 26-year-old who worked in the clothing industry was among the thousands who marched in the streets last Thursday to protest Iran's current regime and its failures in fixing the country's ailing economy. More than 10,000 protesters have been arrested since the demonstrations broke out in late December across all of Iran's 31 provinces. That's according to human rights groups. And again, the regime doing their best to lock out international press here and keep this horrific, growing tragedy, the unjustness inside. Iranian authorities have pledged to swiftly punish anti-government protesters, with officials warning that anyone arrested is considered guilty of waging internal war against the regime. So, Jackson, we know that cruelty is the point. And in order to tamp down this latest widespread, must be really scary if you're doing this kind of ungodly work, war against God. It must be really scary for them. So they have to increase the cruelty. Perhaps a more humane thing would be don't let him say goodbye. Just go do what you're going to do. Hopefully it doesn't happen. We'll keep monitoring it. But they have to make sure this didn't just slip out. They want this out there, in my view, because they need these people to get back inside. Your thoughts?
Well, my general thoughts on this story is just recognizing a pattern of political unrest all over the world, that we've really been looking at, kind of a creeping impact for years now. But now, cumulatively, that just world powers are starting to change form, alliances are changing, trade routes are being rewritten. The United States is starting to lose its grip. The world is changing. And as that happens, the political establishments are cracking down, like we see in Iran, like we see here, like we see in many European countries, on trying to stay where they are, trying to keep people strapped down. Meanwhile, the economic reality is people can't afford life. Whether that be just affording a car, being able to have some type of real job security, having hope that your children may have some type of real future. That type of stuff is disappearing. And so I think that over the next 10 to 15 years, we're going to be dealing with revolutions around the world.
Mhm.
We're going to be dealing with governments being toppled and overthrown. We're going to be dealing with war breaking out. And there's going to be a lot of pressure on the public to stand up and be a part of that process because without it, whether it's regimes like Iran or what we're looking at here, uh, fascist, far right wing, fundamentalist power structures will win. So I think that we're entering pretty difficult times.
I do too, and I liken it to climate change, right? Climate change worsens natural disasters, the frequency, the intensity, heat waves, droughts, wildfires, floods. If you don't stop destroying the planet, that's what's coming. And so you're right. We perhaps look at these as little pockets, a big pocket here, right, in Iran, and here in our country, and other places around the world. But there's it shouldn't be looked at it in a vacuum. You're right. This is what's going on. It's spread nationalism and all of this nonsense. From what was his name, Boris? What's his face? The very strange former prime minister in the UK. But it was everywhere and people are starting to say, who perhaps don't speak the same languages, they don't, never seen each other before, but we're all feeling this energy that it's go time. So much so that a 26-year-old risk it all, knowing where he lives, knowing what this regime is capable of. And now, hope it doesn't happen. We're keeping watch, but here it is. Final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts on this one in particular is I just think it's pretty ridiculous how Donald Trump and his administration are using this as an excuse to go into Iran because we care so much about the lives and the sovereignty and the rights of the protesters there when we deem pretty much anybody who stands up to Donald Trump in this country a domestic terrorist. And we see how much effort they're putting into blackening Renee Good's name to the point that people think she deserved to be shot. She deserved to die, acting like Jonathan Ross was in danger. Yeah, this is just an excuse for the Trump administration to do what they want to do.
Yeah. Will we let them? I just want to know if we're going to keep letting them do this and get away with it. Everybody's a bum until they don't. Everybody in the Capitol is a bum until they don't. Figure it out.